Hi there, I'm Eggfur, and today I'm going to show you something which people who are regulars of my channel will have seen before, and it is this behind us, which is an elevator. And I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about it and tell you what it does, show you how it works, so we'll get straight into that. Okay, so here we go. I've got 3 floors on this elevator. It will expand to as many as you want. There's no limitation apart from build limit, and the cabin of this elevator is a 2x2. It's designed to be sort of realistic. It doesn't use any slime machines, any flying machines, sorry. And it's pretty compact, as you can see. So, tiny little thing. Pretty quick to build as well. And, well, let's have a little demo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my assistant here. Not you. I want a full-grown assistant, please. There we go. And the elevator is simple. You press a button and you go up to the floor above, like so. And if you press a button to go down, off you go down and back up. So that's how it works. It works for certain mobs if they're the right size. It also works for the player. There we go. We're on floor 3. Isn't that great? And the reason you might have seen this before is because I published a video on it before, and in 1.17.30 it stopped working. Luckily enough, I was very excited to find out that in the latest release, and indeed the preview, so it's not, you know, just a fluke, in the latest release it is back working again with a slight difference. So this video is basically the original tutorial with a couple of bits spliced in. I hope it doesn't seem too janky. But we will get in and I'll talk about some mechanics. I'll show you the build and I'll splice in some extra bits just to show you the changes. Okay? It works on a strange mechanic which I've not seen used for elevators before. So I don't know if this is unique. If you've seen it elsewhere, then do let me know. But let's have a quick demo. So I've got a sticky piston up here with a honey block. And if I go and put myself kind of somewhere in the middle underneath here, and press this button, you see that the honey block comes down above me, and when it lifts up I pop out on top of it. So that's what we're using for the floors of the elevator. So if I go in here and I press a button, the ceiling will come down and I'll end up on the floor above.
Okay, so let's dive straight in.
Bedrock. If you looked at multi-floor elevators before, you'll have seen that some of them are quite big, quite complicated. Well, this one isn't. It's actually really simple, straightforward, and it's only 6x6. So this is the space we need. I'm going to build it 3 stories tall. You can make it as tall as you want, and the middle story can just repeat. So if you want to make it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories tall, that's fine. Just repeat the middle floor again and again till you get to where you want to be. Okay, so in this space, let's start off by breaking these first 2 blocks, and I'm going to put down some polished chiseled blackstone. You can use whatever you want. This is just the entrance into the elevator. Break these 4 blocks and put down the floor of the cabin. I'm going to use sea lanterns. For the ground floor, it doesn't really matter, but for the other cabins, as you go up, you want to use a transparent full block. So something like sea lanterns, it could be glowstone, it could be something like a target block even, but it's got to be a transparent block and a full block as well. Right, so now I'm going to fill in the rest of the space around here, just leaving off the floor of the cabin and the entrance, and these front 2 corner blocks as well. So just fill this all in. Like that, and you should get a shape that looks like this. Swing around to the back and run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks along here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks along here. Come to the back, so back to the front, and then at the back of the cabin we're going to use some purple glazed terracotta, so whichever colour you want, but we're using glazed terracotta because it doesn't stick to slime and honey blocks, and that will stop our elevator from tearing itself apart. So we need to use terracotta here. I'm also going to use different colours to indicate which floor we're on, so it makes it nice clear to recognise what floor you're on. Okay, background here, and still with terracotta, So coming up level with these 2 blocks placed, 1 up above diagonally, 1, 2, 3 back, same here, and join them up to make a kind of C shape. And you'll see now we've got like a little pocket down here, and we're going to use that to put sticky pistons facing upwards, like so. Round the back, behind this left-hand piston, place some dust and run it all the way around here to this block just before the corner. And if I put a torch there, you'll see my piston pops up. In fact, both of them pop up. So now we're going to put a line of 4 slime on one of them and 4 honey on the other. It doesn't matter which way around you do it, just make sure you've got a whole line of each. And we're using slime and honey because they don't stick to each other, and that means that we get separate push limits for our left and right hand piston, and it means we can push more blocks. On top of here, place our sea lanterns. So this is the floor of the next cabin up. This is the ceiling of our bottom cabin. On top of the last 2 sticky blocks here, 2 more of your glazed terracotta, then overhang by 1 and come to the front by 1. So you get another C shape, a little bit smaller than the one underneath it. And lastly, the terracotta in front of these 2 blocks, and again overhang by 1 on either side. Fill in this block, fill in this block, and the same on the edges above. This is our entrance again, so I'm going to go back to my blackstone. There we go. And now we need to build our cabin around here. So we're going to do the same as we did before. We're essentially going to build a platform at this level, which is going to go missing out this corner, basically everywhere in our 6x6 except for where the cabin is and those front 2 corner blocks. There we go. So you see that looks exactly the same as one below. And now we're going to change our terracotta colour. I'm going to use creeper terracotta for cyan one. And I'm going to place it that way so my creeper faces are facing upwards. If you do want to align all your terracotta patterns, then feel free. I'm not doing it for the purposes of this video. I think it would take too long. So there's my creepers at the back. Round this side. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're coming just past the terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then our C shape above that terracotta to create that pocket for our pistons. So, and you can see how it's very, very similar as we go up. So this bit is all exactly the same as what we've seen so far already. We're going to put our 4 slime along here, our 4 honey along here. We're going to put our sea lanterns on top of that and underneath it. And we're going to put our small C just here. So again, just like the one below. Now, this already gives us almost a working lift. So if I put a button here, I go and stand inside the cabin and I push that button, you'll see they get lifted up into the creeper cabin. And you saw it was a bit slow. I got kind of glitched into the block for a second, and in survival that could hurt. So we're going to make it a bit quicker. So I'm going to put a block above this torch and another torch on the side here above that redstone dust. So what happens now is when I press the button, this torch goes off, the line of redstone goes off, but 1 tick later this torch comes on and lights it again. So now when I press the button, I get 1 tick pulse and it comes down and up really quickly. So it is it's actually a really fast elevator as well. Well, I hope you're still watching, and if you are and you're liking what you see, then do remember to leave a like at the end of the video. That does really help out because it helps other people to find the content because of YouTube search algorithms. And I'd also really like it if you subscribe to the channel. So check out some of my other videos as well, see what you think, and then think about dinging that bell. All right, so do the same with this one above it. A block on top, a block on the side, just here.
and we'll put our buttons in. So for my second cabin, I need to go up, but I also need to be able to get down as well. So I'm going to have a button on the bottom here to let me get down. Okay, before we do that, let's put our creeper terracotta. Let me put a block here, and then our creeper terracotta coming along like this. Okay, so it makes like a little archway above there. And we can then put our blackstone in for the entrance to the third and final cabin. Pop a block here, pop a block there. And I'll build this cabin in a second, but first of all I want to show you the mechanism to be able to get down. So to get down, we're going to essentially pull the floor out from underneath the player. And I'm going to do that again with a sticky piston. So place some temporary blocks, level this back slime or honey. And you can come out 3, break these first 2, and put your sticky piston facing back towards the slime and honey. So with 1 block spacer. Same here, 3, break the first 2, place your piston. I don't need that one or that one anymore. But I do need a block down here, so we're just going to extend this back line of terracotta out by 1, and that means I can run some redstone dust all the way along the top here, connecting those 2 pistons. I go up on top of this piston, and then back down the other side onto these 2 blocks, which I'm going to extend out the redstone like this. So this is my down button. It will be turning off this torch here, which will have a sticky piston directly underneath it. You see that's extended. And on top of that, I'm going to place a redstone block, which will power this dust. Now these 2 pistons have extended out towards the slime and honey in the middle. So really quickly, if I press this button now, you see the floor gets drawn back and closes again.
This is Monday Eggfur back again, and I want to show you an alternative way of doing this, because we can do that without a piston and without the redstone block. And what we could do is we can put down 2 scaffolding just like that and put redstone dust on each of those. Again, that extends the pistons, and when I press my button, it works in exactly the same way. It's just an alternative way of doing it, using scaffolding instead of the sticky piston and a redstone block. So you can choose which one you want to do.
So we need to do the same for the top floor as well. So let's have a look at that. So grab my temporary blocks, 1, 2, 3. Break the first 2. Sticky piston. 1, 2, 3. Break the first 2. Sticky piston. Get rid of those. Extend this out to the sides by 1. Run my redstone dust across there. Over top of piston. Down the other side. Redstone dust here and here. And now we can build our top cabin. So the way it's going to work is we do exactly the same. We extend this platform out. Sorry, missing that corner block. I'm using the pig terracotta this time. There's 1, 2. And because this is the top cabin, I don't need to worry too much about anything else. I can just make it fairly straightforward like this. I do want to have my ceiling lights here. So let's put those in. So that looks fine. And above the ceiling lights, you remember that we then have a little pillar coming up so that we can have this terracotta along the top there as well. So now they should all look pretty similar. The top floor, I don't need an up button. I just need a down button. So that is going to be powering or unpowering this torch, which is going to have my sticky piston underneath it and the redstone block on top of there. Let's give that a test. That looks good.
So functionally, we're almost done, and there's just one very important bit to add. And this is a slight change from the original video I published. So this is me speaking on the republished video. And what we need to do is we need to add ladders. And before we had ladders in these two spots on both sides, but actually in the latest version, these two ladders need to go on the back like that. And the ladders are here to prevent fall damage, because otherwise, as you drop down through the floor above, you will sustain a little bit of damage. The ladders will catch you and stop you getting that damage, which is great. We obviously don't need them on the top, but just for consistency, I'm going to place them on the top floor as well. Okay, so now even in survival, when you go down, you get caught by these ladders and you'll land safely on the floor below.
All we need to do is maybe add a little bit of decoration. So I'm going to hide the redstone by putting some pillars up here. And there's not a lot of redstone to hide, is there really? So this should be fairly straightforward. Make it look a little bit pretty. And you might want to put a couple of light blocks here. You could use torches if you want. I'm just going to use some sea lanterns just to make sure we don't get mobs spawning up on the top. And then, of course, you'd put your floors in here as well. So to get in and out to wherever you want to be in your base.
So I really hope you love this elevator as much as I do. But I've got a little bit of bonus content for maybe the more advanced users, because at the moment, this elevator, each floor is 5 blocks tall, and that's basically what it's got to be to fit everything in, and for the way it works with the ceiling dropping down. But sometimes you don't want to have lots of floors. You want to be able to go from somewhere at the bottom to somewhere at the top as quickly as possible. And it is possible to do that with this elevator. So I want to show you how. Obviously, we won't need our up button on the second floor, so it's going to take us straight up to the third in our case. And there's a couple of changes we could make then. So I've already taken out this torch here. I can take out this one, like so. I can get rid of all of this dust around here. And we need to find a way of powering these pistons, or unpowering these pistons from down here. So what I'm going to do, we're going to try and keep it in the same footprint. So I'm going to come around here, like so. Up to there, below terracotta, put a solid block just here, another one diagonally up from that. I want a torch here, then put redstone dust on there first, a torch here, another block above that torch, a torch here, a block above that torch, take out this block and this one, place a block here. I want redstone dust and one more repeater just here. And then we're going to run redstone dust back round to these pistons. So they are now powered again. And that's basically adding 3 ticks of delay in between my bottom pistons unpowering and the ones on the floor above unpowering. So that's 1, 2, 3 ticks of delay. And I can carry on this pattern if I've got more floors, more than 3 floors, and carry on this pattern just by going with a block here, which is the equivalent of this block just there. Okay, so you can keep going up your floors. So what does that do? Well, it means that when I come in here and I press the button, it will take me up to the 3rd floor straight away. And you see it's really, really quick. What this doesn't do, though, is let you get down from the top to the bottom. That is a little bit more complicated. It's probably going to need some work, maybe some, certainly a bigger footprint, I think, to make that work. So if you want to use that as an exercise, then great. I'd be really interested in hearing how you've gone about doing that. But if not, then you can always wait for the multi-floor elevator with the floor selector that hopefully I'm going to be publishing if I can get that to work as I want it to. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and I hope to see you next time. Cheers, bye-bye.